Hey y'all, it's your girl Alante. I know. It's been a minute. Okay, life has been, as the kids say, lifing. Like, life has been handing me one on a platter, but a silver platter, because I'm always gonna find the silver linings, okay? But, your girl has been a little overwhelmed with everything going on in my life. I know everybody has a lot going on in life. So something had to go for a minute, and that was YouTube. So I'm back. I'm ready. I'm ready to dive in. It's not going to take me a year to post this book, I promise you. And let's dive into it. I have the Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. And this read could not come at a better time because your girl does not understand Black men as well as I thought I did, okay? Okay, like, I'm back single, which is so uncomfortable at 35. Like, can we be real for a minute? I'm 35 years old, never married, no kids. And I desire marriage. I desire a family of my own. But just like everybody else, I'm struggling to connect, have a long-lasting connection with the opposite sex in our community. And I'm hoping that I can gain a better understanding along with you guys about how to understand the Black man, because your girl is not doing well, okay? Not doing well at all. And I desire a Black family. No disrespect or diss to any other races, but I've always just seen myself with a Black man. And in my 30s, I see myself with a Black family. And that's something I really desire. And I think in order to get that, I need to gain another or deeper understanding into the psyche of the Black man and why they are the way they are now. Not all, by the way. I'm not generalizing all men, but I'm just saying there is an obvious disconnect in our community between the sexes. And I know if you're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you've seen it all. You've seen all the discussions. You've seen all the arguments. You've seen all the think pieces. And let's just dive into somebody that did their due diligence, did their research, Sister Shahrazad Ali, and see what she's got to say about it. Okay. This is, again, the Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black... This is, again, the Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. And if you're interested in the other book, the Black Man's Guide into Understanding the Black Woman, I already read that. It's in a playlist. You can listen to it from start to finish. You could probably get through it in a day, faster than I recorded it, okay? I'll read myself fulfilled. All right, let's just dive into the preface, shall we? She has in the beginning here, on the first page, the survival of the Black man is in crisis. He is dying a shameful, unnatural death. He is rejected by his woman and detached from his own seed. Slavery fractured his birthright ego, so he fails as a husband, father, and son. His problems are too big now, so he has no value for life. And no matter how hard he tries, he just can't get it together. And without divine intervention, he will continue to self-destruct. Okay, and this book is thicker than the Black Woman's Guide. Do I have that around here? Oh, I have it right here. I don't know if you can see. It's thicker than the Black Woman's Guide. Okay, so we got some chapters to get through. So bear with me. I did the same thing like I did in the first book. I highlighted the majority of things that I felt were relevant to today still. And so you can get a good gist of what the book says without having to buy the book if you don't want to, or read it for yourself. All right. There are 12 chapters in this book. Without further ado, on here, right before the foreword, it says, The rules. A man could rise no higher than his woman. Where there are no decent women, there are no decent men. By nature, a man cannot submit to a woman. And lastly, it says the black man is the original man. Into the foreword, shall we? While the scabs on the wounds inflicted by the Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman are barely healed, we now embark on the second phase of this purification process to expose and dissolve selected behaviors that destroy love and stifle respect between blacks. It is extremely important for the reader to understand clearly that the sole purpose of this study is to continue to examine the underlying causes of animosity between black men and black women. It is not an attempt to insult or publicly ridicule the black man, nor should it be dismissed as superficial or typical male bashing. Recent experience has proven that confronting brutal truths about personal motivation is painfully embarrassing and usually met with gross denial. Okay, and that's how I felt in the first book. Many of the segments in this book contain information that appears to rival or contradict data presented in the Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. This is done intentionally to reveal concurrent opposing behaviors between black men and black women, which ironically accelerate the demise of an already fragile union. A root cause of the resultant discontent inside this tattered community is the disorganization of the shattered black family. This secondary aspect of the problem, according to the frustrated members of the group, is the failure of black men to accept and deliver on their obligations as husband, provider, and father. Decidedly, the black woman has failed miserably on the home front. Many months have been spent aggressively attempting to apprise black women about how this failure manifests. Predictably, this deduction was not accepted happily. Pedestals toppled and were replaced with sobering realities. Complicated unpleasantries were acknowledged to pave way for progress. On the flip side of this dreadful predicament, the black man must now study and recognize the mismanagement of his masculine authority. His blunders, as colossal and unintentional as his woman's, equally splinter the black household. As head of the black nation in America, whether he admits it or not, the black man is solely responsible for any liabilities existing among black women and black children. Are y'all gonna admit that? I don't think so. Reportedly, the black man has never taken proper charge of his own life, the life of his woman, or his children's. He has allowed himself to be overwhelmed by the strong wording of contemporary opinion and the unpopularity of addressing his own needs. All of the cries of racism have become a convenient crutch he leans on to explain his perpetual crippled leadership in and out of the house. She coming for y'all next, okay? The way she came for the women in the first book, she's on y'all next in this book. I just want y'all to know. Deep breaths, we're gonna get through it, okay? While many of his negative habits are merely reactions to the ill-fated approaches of his woman and his mother, this has already been discussed in the Black Man's Guide to Understand the Black Woman. Check it out in my playlist. This new study is devoted entirely to the greater problem, the irresponsible leadership of black men and how they got to be the way they are. Although this book does not cover every aspect of the African American history, it does include factors contributing to the decline of the black man's leadership potential. It also explains how black male teens, unfamiliar with the past and modern history, become displaced and reckless in the world. This book is merely a mirror, a galloping reflective account of the black man's last 19 decades in America. It chronicles condensed events and trends ordinarily unknown which must be considered when dealing with him and making judgments about his conditions. His mind was tampered with, and brainwashing schemes must be discussed and understood. As before, I do not expect all black men to accept the accuracy of this report. but mass denial among them must not constitute cause to reject or disbelieve the contents of this work. Public confession is not necessary for improvement. Readers must realize that here is a man who claims he is victimized by entrenched racism, slanted justice, media attack, multiple drugs and accessible weapons, compounded with charges of genocidal conspiracy out to destroy him. Yet, he has done little to ward off the results of such conclusions. He has been screaming foul for umpteen years, trying to bring attention to his unfair treatment. And now he dizzily wanders around crying racism at the slightest provocation, but still swears that the possibility of a diverse, multicultural society exists. This book contains new perspectives. The suggestions made are not written to endorse or promote negative racism. Instead, they prove historically that the only successful multicultural society is one where each race retains economic and spiritual individuality. I agree with that. Like, how can we be united as a nation of people from different cultural backgrounds with so many differences among us if there's infighting within one nation, which is the black nation is just collapsing on itself, right? At least that's how it feels. Anything else creates confusion and resentment between nationalities, and subsequently has landed the black man in his present predicament, endangered. And some say unhelpable due to his insistence in doing things his own way, the wrong way, for his survival. His pride is tissue paper thin, blowing in the wind. Hopefully every black man will read this text and voluntarily place his nose to the grindstone of reconciliation with his manhood and proper evaluation of his political dreams. He must commit to save himself at any cost, with minimal tears and moderate ego damage. False pride and stubbornness have no place when one is contending for self-preservation. And yes, the effects of slavery still rank as number one in the dismemberment of the black home and displacement of the black man. But the number two problem stems from contributory. I know words. I promise I know words, but some words just don't flow. But the number two problem stems from contributory. I'm just going to skip that word, okay? Contributory neglect of an internal nature that takes the form of A, disunity, B, distrust, and C, bad choices. Tragically, the number one problem cannot be reversed, but the number two can be repaired. This is not shifting the burden, just smoothing it out a little to make it more manageable for correction. Black man, I have faith in you. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Shahrazad Ali. I hope you guys are ready to get into this book. Men, I look forward to reading you guys' comments and the discussions that are going to be in the comment section. I hope you guys really engage. Give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. Share with some more black men. Share with some black women. Share so we can get the conversation started, because I feel like the only way to start healing is to have these uncomfortable conversations, right? And we did it with the black man's guys understanding the black woman, and now let's do it again. Let's dive deep. Let's search our own souls. Let's have the conversations that are hard to have so we can heal our nation, and the future generations will be better off for it, right? At least that's the hope. But anyway, I'm going to get into chapter 1 in the next video, and it is babyhood and puberty. And yeah, I look forward to talking with you guys about this. Okay, until the next chapter. Bye.